Thank you so much, Michael. We're now going to hear from Reverend Ty Bradley from the Sunshine Cathedral. Reverend.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
On behalf of Sunshine Cathedral here in Fort Lauderdale, I'm happy to be here this morning voicing support for AIDS Healthcare Foundation's work to alleviate housing vulnerability in our communities through an innovative and well-conceived low-income housing solution. When families suffer and find themselves at risk because of the threat of homelessness, it is often local faith communities on the front lines working to bridge the gap in the face of that threat. At Sunshine Cathedral, we know from experience that many families already struggling to feed and care for children while committing to full-time, low-paying jobs carry the additional burden of living week to week in motels simply because they cannot find housing they can afford or that is available without onerous security deposits. We constantly remark how much more secure these families would be, how much greater the opportunity would be for them to thrive if housing were not such a hauntingly precarious factor in their lives. By opening our neighborhoods up to these families, who are actually already our neighbors, through low-income housing projects lovingly and strategically developed by community partners like AHF, we are in truth investing in our own vibrant and thriving future as a city, which requires that working individuals and families at all income levels have safe and secure housing. What's more, committing ourselves and our neighborhoods where we live, work, and play to the collective benefit of all our neighbors, regardless of income, is to realize the values of human mutuality that inform all faith traditions and which best govern our shared civic lives together in this wonderful city. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Bradley. We are now going to hear from the Executive Director of the South Florida Land Trust, Mandy Barlow.
Thank you. I'm here today as a resident of the city of Fort Lauderdale. I'm here today as the Executive Director of the South Florida Community Land Trust. And I love my city. And I love seeing my city in the news. But I don't love seeing my city in the news for being one of the least affordable places in the country. I think increasingly we have to find ways and strategies and get creative about finding a solution to making sure people can afford to live and work in our community. And I applaud the AIDS Health Foundation as well as Healthy Housing Foundation for looking to find a solution to that problem. So thank you.
And last, we will ask Robin Merrill, who is the Executive Director of the Christian Civil Development Foundation, to say a few words.
Hi, I'm Robin Merrill at the Christian Cultural Development Foundation, and one of the wonderful things about Fort Lauderdale is the new slogans that you can see painted on the city buildings, which is "We Build Community." And I feel that when we look at Margie's architecture, it is so Fort Lauderdale, both in historic sense and making it modern. I'm in love with this building. I think it's a fantastic project. And having lived in Asia in units this size, I know that people here get a little bit concerned, like, how is anyone going to live in a space that small? And I'll tell you how we did. It's because of the community that we lived in. And so a loving, caring community, it's about the community that you're a part of. And when you have a secure, peaceful place to live, then you can be a part of creating that wonderful community. Also, the walkability factor for Fort Lauderdale. We need buildings that are a part of the urban core where people who are working at minimum wage jobs can have the ability to walk around and to jobs and to the different places that they need to be. The other thing I'd like to say is I've been hearing, I was actually very surprised about objection to this beautiful building and project. When there is so much development going on, why single out this one very beautiful architecture and plan? And I began to hear a lot of those people. And it hurt me to the core to hear any of us referred to as those people. And then just a kind reminder that it's we the people. We live in America, and there is no those people. There's only we the people. The other thing, as a person of faith, I'm a Christian, and one of the #1 commandments that we're given is to love your neighbor. So I believe that this project definitely brings a loving environment into the community, and I would ask that everyone, no matter what your faith, look through that lens of how are we best loving our neighbor, and remembering that this is us. This is not importing people to come and live in this project. This is for us. This is for all of us. And I am very happy to support it, and I hope that we all will and become proud of what I know will become a landmark and a destination. The problem that we have if we're #1 in the nation with it, let's have the best solution. Why can't we be #1 in providing the best solutions to these issues? And we should all be very proud to be able to sponsor this in our own city. Thank you.
Okay, I will now ask Michael Kahane, who is the president of the Southern Bureau for AIDS Healthcare Foundation, to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Michael Kahane. I'm the Southern Bureau Chief for AIDS Healthcare Foundation. I just want to briefly address some of the issues that have become apparent over the last couple of weeks with regard to our transparency over this project. In addition to the comments that were just made about those people, there have also been a lot of comments that have been made that we have not been fully transparent, which is not accurate. So I'm going to quickly go over a timeline. We began outreach from the beginning. Michael Weinstein talked about the public announcement that we made in June. That was covered in the press and everybody was invited to attend. We also spoke with every city commissioner to talk to them about this development and to explain it to them, and we received their support. We met with every homeowners association in the surrounding community in September, and we offered to meet with all of the residents of the community. But every homeowners association community said that they supported this development and that there was no need to meet with the community. In addition to that, there has been some suggestion raised that Villa Tuscany, which is some of the units that are directly adjacent to the property, are going to be disproportionately impacted. We recognize that, and we've made an offer to all of those unit owners to purchase their villas at fair market value. No one has responded to that offer, but that offer is outstanding. I'm sorry if you find that funny, but it's true.
I don't find it funny, I just find it ironic, because that's not at all what we've heard from the actual residents. But go ahead, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No worries. So we have been fully transparent, and we have done our best to communicate with the community. We're here to answer any questions that anyone may have, and we believe that this is going to be a beautiful addition to our community and an extremely, a project that is an extreme need to address an issue that myself, as a lifelong resident of Fort Lauderdale, I was born and raised here, have been frequently embarrassed by, because we've not treated our low-income residents fairly. Thank you.